All right, so if you're getting serious about buying a home here in Minnesota, you're going to run into this document pretty fast. It's the buyer representation contract, and trust me, you really want to understand it. So today, we're going to break down exactly what it all means, so you can sign it feeling confident and in control.
You know, when you're staring at a big, multi-page legal document, it can be pretty intimidating, right? But getting a handle on this contract isn't just about checking a box. It's your first real move toward becoming a homebuyer who's truly in charge of the whole process.
I want you to think of this contract less like a scary legal hurdle and more like the official playbook for your home search. It just sets the rules of the game and makes the relationship between you and your agent super clear. So, let's learn those rules.
So what is this thing at its core? It's actually pretty simple. It's the formal agreement where you officially hire a real estate brokerage to help you find and buy a home. That's it. It's the very foundation of your professional partnership.
Now, the key word you got to focus on here is exclusive. It's a big deal. When you sign this thing, you're agreeing to work only with this one brokerage for whatever time frame is spelled out in the contract. You know, maybe a few months, maybe longer. You're officially a team, and this piece of paper makes it official.
So what does that team agreement actually look like in practice? Well, it's totally a two-way street. The contract very clearly spells out what your broker promises to do for you, and in turn, what you, the buyer, are promising to do for them. And here's where you can really see that partnership in action. Your broker's side of the bargain, they're committing to use their professional skills to negotiate hard for you and to always act in your best interest. And your side? You agree to work only with them, give them accurate info, and cooperate in the search. It's all about that mutual commitment.
Okay, let's get to the part that, let's be honest, everyone really wants to understand. The money. How does your agent actually get paid for all their hard work? The contract is very, very specific about this, so let's dive in.
Pay close attention to this next part because it's so important they literally put it in all caps right there in the contract. Here's the bottom line. Broker commissions are not set in stone. They're not some fixed universal rate. They are 100% negotiable between you and your broker.
So how does the payment part usually shake out? It's basically a three-step process. First, you and the broker agree on a commission rate. Step 2, the broker will try to get paid from the seller first. That's the traditional way it's done. And step 3, and this is critical, whatever amount the broker gets from the seller's side directly lowers what you might owe them.
Now, you might also see something called a retainer fee. This is basically an upfront payment to the broker for getting started, whether you end up buying a house or not. The good news is, if you do buy, this fee is usually credited back toward the total commission you owe at closing.
Next up is the broker protection period. This one is really important to understand. It means that if your contract ends but you turn around and buy a house your agent had already shown you, they might still be owed a commission. The contract will tell you exactly how long this period lasts, but for it to even apply, your agent has to give you a written list of those specific protected properties.
Okay, so we've covered how your agent gets paid. Now let's talk about a tricky situation where their loyalties can get a little complicated. It's called dual agency, and you have to make a choice about it right at the very beginning when you sign.
So dual agency happens when you get interested in a home that's also listed by your agent's own company. All of a sudden, that one brokerage is representing both you and the seller. And as the contract clearly warns, this means your agent is prohibited from advocating exclusively for you. It's a conflict of interest.
So here's the choice you have to make, plain and simple. If you say yes to dual agency, you get to see and potentially buy any home listed by your broker's company. If you say no, you maintain that exclusive one-sided representation, but you completely give up the chance to even look at those properties. It's a pretty big trade-off to think about.
All right, the last section of the contract is packed with all sorts of important notices and warnings. Let's just do a quick lightning round of the highlights. Think of this as the fine print, but made easy.
The contract strongly urges you to get a home inspection. It reminds you that you have the right to choose your own closing company. It gives you a heads up about possible tax rules if the seller is a foreign person, and it tells you exactly how to find information on predatory offender registries. It's all there to make sure you're as informed as possible.
Now this might be one of the most important practical warnings in the whole document. Wire fraud is a massive risk. Criminals are out there sending fake wiring instructions through email all the time. The contract makes it absolutely clear. Before you ever send money, you must always call a trusted phone number that you know is legitimate to verify those instructions.
And just in case there was any doubt left, the contract puts it right there in black and white and all caps. This isn't just some casual handshake agreement. It's a serious, legally binding document with real consequences for both you and your broker.
And finally, the contract is really smart about knowing its own limits. Your agent is your expert guide for finding a home and negotiating the deal. But for any legal or tax questions, it explicitly tells you to go talk to a lawyer or an accountant.
So there you have it, the buyer representation contract, completely demystified. It sets up your relationship, it outlines the money, and it clarifies everyone's responsibilities. Honestly, understanding this thing really puts you in the driver's seat of your home search. So now that you know what's inside, what's the very first question you're going to ask your agent?